Thanks so much for joining us for CBN News Today. I'm Ephraim Graham. Thanksgiving travelers could be in for a tough trip this year. Today is already the busiest travel day of the year, but millions are also bracing for their commutes to be longer than ever, thanks to some sloppy winter-like weather. Caitlin Burke reports.
Snow, slush, and rain are falling across the country today, just as more than 46 million people hit the roads. Getting anywhere quickly today is going to be nearly impossible. Snow is falling from Iowa to Wisconsin. Heavy rain is drenching the northwest and southeast, and a Thanksgiving nor'easter is pounding the East Coast. Many travelers are scrambling to change their plans to beat the bad weather. Some are leaving home earlier than planned. Others are trying to reroute around the storms.
I heard that there was snow coming in and everything, and I'm traveling by myself with the kids and the dog, so I wanted to get a head start.
Earlier this week, major airlines waived their ticket change fees to allow people to try and find earlier flights to their Thanksgiving destinations. But today, more than 200 flights have been canceled.
We always look at the weather. We look towards the sky. It can be our best friend and our biggest challenge.
Today's weather comes after an early snowstorm last week left parts of the Northeast buried under 7 feet of snow. And that early winter blast is still being felt across the north. Reports from MLive out of Michigan say the Great Lakes are already starting to ice over, the earliest ice on some of the Great Lakes in at least 40 years. There is some good news for travelers. The forecast for the trip home Sunday, nothing but sunshine. Caitlin Burke, CBN News.
More developments in the aftermath of that jury decision in Ferguson, Missouri. Tuesday night brought more protests, a police car torched, and 44 people arrested. We're also now hearing from the police officer who shot 18-year-old Michael Brown. Darren Wilson spoke exclusively to ABC's George Stephanopoulos. He described being attacked by Michael Brown while inside his police SUV.
And then as I'm holding him, I see him coming back around with his left hand. And it's in the shape like this, and it comes in through the window and just a solid punch to the right side of my face.
But you're still sitting there figuring out, how do I get out of this?
Yes. I mean, the next thing was, how do I survive? Because I didn't know
how do you survive?
Yes, I didn't know if I'd be able to withstand another hit like that.
Is there anything you could have done differently that would have prevented that killing from taking place?
No.
Nothing?
No.
Tuesday night brought protests in cities across the country, many of them peaceful. But in Oakland, looters ransacked businesses and set fires in the streets. President Obama weighed in on the situation from Chicago, saying he has no sympathy for demonstrators who destroy their own communities. Federal judges in Arkansas and Mississippi have overturned those states' bans on gay marriage. Arkansas's Attorney General is set to make a decision on how to respond to the ruling after the Thanksgiving holiday. In Mississippi, the ruling has been put on hold for 2 weeks so the state can appeal. Mississippi's governor and the Attorney General each filed written arguments asking the judge to uphold the state's marriage rules. Mississippi has a 1997 law and a 2004 voter-approved constitutional amendment that defines marriage as being between one man and one woman. The Texas Board of Education has approved new history textbooks for students to use next fall. The decision comes after a bitter ideological fight. The vote broke down along party lines, with the 10 Republican board members voting for books and software that included mention of America's rich religious heritage. The 5 Democrats on the board opposed the move. Liberal activists and a group of 52 university professors protested the emphasis. A new report shows the Islamic State is making millions of dollars from ransom money. The United Nations report shows the terror group received between $35 to $45 million in ransom payments last year alone. Between 2004 and 2012, the group made an estimated $120 million in money from ransoms. Officials say kidnapping for ransom continues to grow. In recent years, ISIS has made this a core tactic for generating revenue. Business as usual in Iraq. That's how one businessman in Baghdad described what's happening there. Chuck Holton got a rare visa to visit Iraq, and what he discovered was quite different from the media headlines.
When the plane landed for my 4th trip to Baghdad, things had changed dramatically since my last visit here in 2007. Nobody wore body armor. There was actually a customs and immigration line. The airport looked surprisingly normal. I met my translator and we drove past Camp Victory, once home to thousands of U.S. troops, now just an empty shell of what it once was. Along Baghdad Airport Road, driving toward downtown, traffic was light. It's hard to believe this was once called the most dangerous stretch of pavement on the planet. On this day, headlines warned ISIS terrorists were only a few kilometers from Baghdad International. While there were some soldiers, no one seemed especially concerned. I stayed in the center of the city, just across the street from an amusement park in full swing. Hardly what you'd expect from a city under siege. I met up with Mike Douglas, CEO of global logistics company SKA International.
SKA have been in Iraq since 2003. Originally, we came in on a contract for refurbishment of airports. Since that time, we've grown into many different areas of operation, particularly in fuel supply, logistics, and aviation.
SKA currently has over 3,500 fuel trucks operating throughout the country. While other companies have been scared off by the threat of ISIS, SKA has no plans to leave.
The current situation is being overhyped by the media. We're pretty much business as usual. That's not to underestimate the seriousness of what's going on elsewhere in the country, and we ourselves have faced some serious challenges in the north. But I think the key to our success is understanding what's going on the ground, developing relationships with key people, with decision makers, and understanding the true facts of what's happening within the region.
The next morning, we drove 4 hours south to the city of Basra. There, we met with leaders of the Al-Batat tribe, marsh Arabs who were terribly persecuted under Saddam Hussein.
The situation in Iraq is stable and all secure, and the life going normal and everything going well. And all the tribes, they are supporting the government here, and all the people here, the community, Sunni or Shia or Christian people, we are all same. We are all Iraqi. There is no difference between us, and we live together from long time.
Concerning the possibility of ISIS taking over Baghdad, these sheikhs say it simply won't happen.
They have no anyone to support them in anything. So before they think to touch our area, believe me, they all will be dead.
Here in southern Iraq, things have gotten pretty stable. As a matter of fact, there hasn't been a terrorist event in this area for over a year. At this fuel depot south of Basra, a small group of contractors is doing a job that used to be done by the U.S. military. That is, sending fuel to all the power stations in Iraq to keep the lights on. And in that way, they're helping to take the fight to ISIS.
America's still here in Iraq. People don't know it, but I'm an American. I'm from Missouri, and proud to be here. And we're doing all we can. Majority of logistics work, the support, fuel support, food, transportation, mail, all of that was done by the U.S. military. And since then, contractors have literally taken over majority of logistics work and a majority of the security work here in Iraq.
The combined experience here is greater than most military officers because these men typically stay here for years. So they bring an important perspective to the current crisis.
ISIS is definitely a threat we have to take seriously, but ISIS is more of an ideology. In order to fight this, in order to beat it, you really have to know what the facts are on the ground. And only by dealing with the local people, with the people who understand the complexity of what goes on in Iraq, only by understanding that will we have any chance of defeating it.
The U.S. military pullout in 2011 didn't end the war, and the enemy here has reorganized and is back in force. This time, contractors are taking the lead in helping the Iraqi government deal with the threat. That just means American boots on the ground won't necessarily be military. In Iraq, I'm Chuck Holt for CBN News.
And next, a healthy eating plan that's so easy a caveman could do it. Get the secret behind the paleo diet. When it comes to eating at your favorite chain restaurant, the days of blissful ignorance are over. A new mandate by the Food and Drug Administration means all restaurants with 20 or more locations are required to post calorie content, quote, clearly and conspicuously on menus and displays. Some food chains already do this. Those who don't have until November 2015 to make the changes. Well, the holiday season is here, and that means most of us won't be counting calories. But if you make seasonal eating habits permanent, you could be facing an array of health issues like inflammation, cancer, and diabetes. A new eating plan promises to fight those diseases and help you lose the weight. Lori Johnson has the story.
Mark Sisson is the picture of health. At the age of 60, yes, 60, he has the body of a man half his age, inside and out. No disease, no medications. But he hasn't always been this way. His anti-inflammatory diet changed everything.
Most of what ails people today could be, if not cured, substantially mitigated with a few lifestyle corrections, first and foremost being diet.
Mark follows the paleo diet.
If you've heard of the paleo diet but aren't really sure what it is, you're not alone. It was the #1 search diet on Google last year.
For the last 25 years, Mark has analyzed nutrition research. 2.5 million readers follow Mark's work.
We've got hundreds of thousands of user experiences on my site, on Mark's Daily Apple, of people who've embraced this program, who've said, so not only did I lose the weight, but my blood work improved and my energy levels improved.
The paleo diet involves avoiding sugar, wheat, trans or omega-6 fats, and some dairy.
When you get rid of all those bad guys, you decrease inflammation and you improve your body's ability to burn fat.
Sugar weakens your immune system and causes insulin problems. Wheat treats your body much the same way. Mark didn't even realize wheat caused him problems until he stopped eating it.
My IBS went away. My arthritis went away. The lingering sinus issues that I had went away. The heartburn that I used to have infrequently, but enough to be to have me carrying Pepsid AC in my wallet, that went away.
Highly inflammatory trans fats and omega-6 fats are found in many packaged foods and oils that line the grocery store shelves.
And we eliminate these industrial oils, what we call the vegetable oils that we thought 2 decades ago were so healthy for us. Turns out they're very unhealthy for us.
Many dairy products cause inflammation, allergies, and stomach problems.
So if you give up sugar, gluten, trans fats, omega-6 fats, and dairy, you may be wondering what's left to eat.
Turns out a lot.
Certainly use plants, vegetables as the main basis of the paleo eating strategy, and then great sources of protein, so meat and fish, fowl, eggs, and so on, and then healthy fats.
Healthy fats include avocados, nuts, olive oil, fish oil, and don't forget coconut oil, even though it's a saturated fat. In fact, some health experts don't believe saturated fats like beef, pork, and eggs should still be viewed as bad guys when it comes to our diet.
Some doctors still have a real issue with saturated fat because they're relying on 20-year-old studies that were faulty to begin with, and they haven't done the research, and they haven't stayed current with dietary research. But there are thousands of doctors now who have completely shifted and are embracing this concept.
That includes Duke University's Dr. Eric Westman, who used to think saturated fat caused heart disease. Then he changed his mind.
Saturated fat, the fat that we've been taught not to eat, raises your good cholesterol best of all the food you can eat.
Of course, any diet is best combined with exercise. Looking at Mark, you might think he lives at the gym, but the truth is he barely breaks a sweat. He recommends slow movement like walking and a lot of it, outside or even at a treadmill desk. Twice a week, he recommends muscle building. Using his own weight as resistance, Mark does push-ups, squats, lunges, and sit-ups.
The tension of the muscle on the bone, it creates bone density, for instance. And we want to have strong bones as we get older.
Then once a week, a set of sprints, giving all you've got for 30-second surges of aerobic activity, like running, biking, or swimming.
That little burst of activity can have such dramatic effects on all aspects of your health. And for people who have been trying to lose weight, for instance, and are plateaued or stalled, that sprint workout can be sort of the breakthrough.
Finally, get enough sleep, because without it, your immune system suffers and you increase hormones that make you hungry.
A lot of people will get the diet right, for instance. They'll start to dial in the diet, but because they enjoy, they're too tempted by the nighttime activities and they don't get enough sleep, they wonder why they're not losing that last 15 or 20 pounds. It may be because you're not getting enough sleep.
So an anti-inflammatory diet is missing sugar, wheat, processed oils, and most dairy. So you eat foods that keep you thin and healthy well into your golden years. Lori Johnson, CBN News.
He may have his flaws, but I'll take warts and all. He's my very best friend.
In today's family entertainment news, America's favorite Christian animated vegetables are coming to Netflix. A VeggieTales spin-off series called VeggieTales in the House launches today. Each episode is composed of 2 11-minute stories with songs. Today we're hearing from the co-creators of the show about why the Netflix series was created.
The advantage of the shows being on Netflix is that it's so easy for people to discover them and then to share them. Just the fact that a mom can be shopping in the grocery store with their kids and their kids are, getting cranky, getting antsy, and you can give them your phone with the Netflix app and watch 11 minutes of VeggieTales and actually get a little, moral lesson. I mean, that's really cool.
VeggieTales in the House provides a look at where the veggies live their everyday lives and is intended to complement the DVD series through a more traditional show. The creators of the show say even though the cartoon may have a new look, the values are staying the same. The life of Olympian and American hero Louis Zamperini is heading to the big screen. The story is called Unbroken, just like his best-selling biography. And filmmakers are sharing this preview with CBN News. Zamperini accepted Christ at a Billy Graham crusade, but long before that day, he fought in World War II, where his bomber was taken down over the Pacific. Zamperini then survived on the open water for 47 days before being captured by the enemy and held for years as a prisoner of war.
Hello, Mother, Father. This is your Louis talking. This will be the first time in 2 years that you'll have heard my voice.
Unbroken is produced and directed by Hollywood heavyweight Angelina Jolie. It opens Christmas Day, but you can get the full sneak preview at cbnnews.com. Up next, Christmas is coming, and if you're trying to figure out your gift list, we've got the scoop on some hot technology you may have missed. Beyond taking you around the world with news 24/7, we also like to take you inside the digital world for a look at news that you can use. And joining us right now is our digital and social media expert, Caleb Kinchlow, with this week's wrap. What's up first, Caleb?
Now, for this segment, we're talking about some of the hottest tech that you may have missed. Now, Ephraim, this first one is powered by Intel.
Okay.
And it basically takes your tablet, your laptops, and your smartphone.
Okay.
It's a multi-mode horizontal tablet PC.
Essentially, it sounds like it is your iPad on steroids.
Exactly. The device is 27 inches, and it functions like a desktop. But it's mobile. You can take it wherever you want to go. You can use it for PowerPoint. You can use it for playing games with your family. You can play music. It's just a way to bring people together in a mobile-friendly environment on a larger scale.
So everybody can work on it at the same time.
Everyone.
It's kind of like bringing people together for social media as opposed to separating.
Exactly.
Good, good. What's next?
Now, the next thing, I'm actually wearing it, wearable technology.
Okay.
Now, the key word with this is called gamification.
And what is gamification?
Gamification is basically taking the game mechanics that you see in a video game and then applying them to everyday life. So, for example, with this device, you can track your workout stats.
Nice.
And you post them onto a server.
Okay.
And once they're on that server, your friends can see your scores and say, you know what, I think I can beat that score. And then they begin to work harder. Or for yourself, you can track your progress and say, you know what, I can beat my score from before.
Okay.
So it takes the hard work out of it and makes it like a game.
Okay, competition motivates, we know that. I have to say though, me loving fashion, that's not very pretty.
You're right, this is actually not the prettiest device, but we know the CEO of Burberry has just left and gone over to Apple.
Burberry and Apple
Burberry
come
and Apple together.
Okay.
So we're talking about some really stylish pieces, not so much for the techie person, but for the person like, the everyday guy who likes to be stylish, the businessman, the businesswoman.
Okay, lots to look forward to. What's third on the list?
Now the last one is from the Samsung Galaxy S5.
Okay, a phone.
Yes, basically a phone, but not just a phone.
Okay.
This phone is designed with the person who's very active in mind.
Okay.
This phone is advertised as being water resistant and waterproof to a certain level.
So if I drop it in the toilet, no big deal.
Drop it in the toilet.
If I grab it quick.
Well, if you drop it in the toilet, it's a big deal, but hopefully not in the toilet. So I'm actually going to show you how this thing works.
All right.
I have my ordinary glass of water here, and I'm going to pour it in here. Submerge a little bit. Yes, right now you'd be calling
help.
So calling for some help.
Help.
But as we can see, it still works just fine.
Wow, amazing. All right, 3 good things to know. Thank you so much. I'm Ephraim Graham.
And I'm Caleb Kinchlow, and this is your Digital Download.
Well, finally this hour, it is the time of year when most of us are eating turkey and counting our blessings. Here's our Charlene Aaron with more on what some of you are thankful for.
Thanksgiving is in the air, the leaves are falling, and many families are prepping for the big turkey dinner on Thanksgiving Day. But it's also a time to reflect on the blessings of life. That's why we took to the streets to find out what people are thankful for this holiday season.
Family. Every Thanksgiving we watch The Christmas Story and we put up the Christmas tree.
I'm thankful for my family, just Thanksgiving dinner, nothing special.
My family, we had a lot of loss last couple of years, but just hang on tight to the people you hold close to and that you love, and we only have them here for just an instant, it seems like. So I'm grateful for those family members I have. I like a turkey and cranberry sandwich. That sounds good. If I'm lucky, there's some mashed potato put up there also.
My family. Definitely have a supporting and loving family, so grateful for my family. We like to play family games. We like Taboo, so that's our favorite game.
We want to hear from you. Log on to CBN News Facebook and tell us what you are thankful for. Well, that is going to do it for now for CBN News Today. You can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about at cbnnews.com. Take the time to tell us what you think about the stories you've seen here today. You can do that on Facebook as well, or at CBN News on Twitter. Hope you'll join us again right here next time. Make it a wonderful Wednesday, everybody.